Bu arada şeyleri de ayrılmışlar kendi içerisinde.
Hey everybody. So excited to be here with all of you to celebrate 30 years of epic entertainment experiences.
Ian, hoş geldin.
Of course, out of all of those, the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart is the World of Warcraft expansion, Shadowlands. And that's what we're here today.
Dismiss Soldier 3. ayında hoş geldin.
The development experience for Shadowlands over the course of last year was unforgettable for all sorts of reasons. But it's also something that really has taught the team, taught all of us a lot of lessons about World of Warcraft and how we can make the game better for all of you going forward. Because Shadowlands wasn't just the product of our development team's efforts last year, it was a product of your efforts as well. It was the product of a conversation between us, the development team.
Evet, beta ve alfaya çok önceden başladılar. Bu çok doğru. Çok fazla geri bildirim verdik yani. Evet.
And over the course of last year, we had tons of folks in our beta giving us feedback, reporting bugs. But we also had even more people just in the community in general, following developments, following updates, watching YouTube videos, chiming in on Reddit threads, on our forums, on social media, everywhere else, letting us know what was exciting, what was concerning, what you didn't understand, what you were worried about, what you were happy about, and more. And all of that helped shape
Bunların hepsi Shadowlands'i yapmamıza yardımcı oldu diyor. Bu bizim ürünümüz değil, beraber yaptığımız bir ürün diyor.
And having an amazing time over the last couple of months. That's a conversation, that's a process that I would like to carry forward into 2021. And for that to be a baseline for how we build World of Warcraft going forward. So as we're here today talking about the next major update, what you're going to hear about shortly is where we're headed in terms of the world, in terms of the story, in terms of these
dünya ve hikaye hakkında nereye gittiğimizi anlatıyor olacağız.
Major villains like the Jailer and Sylvanas. What's up with Anduin anyway? But we're going to talk
Anduin'e ne oldu diyor.
however, about systems.
Sistemler üzerinde daha az konuşacağız diyor.
Is of course by first seeing how they're playing out in your hands. We couldn't really plan what we were going to do with legendaries or where Torghast was going to go or what was going to change about soulbinds without having the experience of millions of players dealing with those systems and letting us know what you think. And so I am pleased and excited to say that when we look at our systems, unlike in some past expansions at this point,
sistemlerimizle ilgili olarak çok kötü bir şey görmüyoruz diyor. Biraz inovasyon gerekiyor. PTR geldiğinde onunla ilgili bazı şeyler paylaşacağız. Fakat şimdi biraz lore konuşacağız diyor. Şimdi Jeremy Fiesel'a bağlanıyor.
Hi everybody, I'm Jeremy Fiesel. I am a designer on WoW and it is my pleasure to introduce to you today a first look at what's next for World of Warcraft Shadowlands.
Evet. Shadowlands'taki bir sonraki adımı açıklayacak arkadaşlar.
The champions of Azeroth have stepped foot in this otherworldly space known as the Shadowlands, the afterlife for all souls from Azeroth.
Bütün ruhların gitmiş olduğu yer. Azeroth'tan sonra Shadowlands'e geldik. Orada bazı müttefiklerimiz oldu. Bazı Covenant'lara katıldık ve güçler aldık onlardan. Ve Covenant'larımıza saldıranların hepsine şey yaptık, def ettik onları diyor. Ve Covenant'larımıza biraz nefes aldırdık. Ve anima kıtlığı çeken Shadowlands vatandaşlarını da biraz rahata erdirdik. Biraz anima topladık onlar için diyor. Ve böylelikle düşmana karşı savaşacak hale getirdik onları. Ve Jailer'ın adamlarından biri, Sire Denatrius'u da saf dışı bıraktık. Jailer'ın karanlık tasarımları hakkında ne biliyoruz şimdiye kadar? Mav'daki görevli Jailer. Karanlık ve kötü bir yer. Ve bir sürü ruh Mav'a akıyor, onu da biliyoruz. Ve Jailer da çok fazla güç topluyor bundan. Ve Sire Denatrius'un da gönderdiği anima. Evet, Mav'ın da çok güçlü olduğunu görmeye başladık. Ve Mav'a her adım atmaya çalıştığımızda hep izlendik Jailer'ın gözü tarafından. Orada tam anlamıyla bir yer tutamadık. Biraz zaman geçiriyoruz Torghast'ta ve oradaki bazı ruhları kurtarabildik. Fakat orada da bir yer tutturamadık. Ve Shadowlands'ta Jailer hala bir gizem olarak duruyor. Ve şimdi hikayemizde Chains of Domination'mış adı. Bunların cevabını alacağız diyor. Jailer'ın güçleri ve planları hakkında öğreneceğiz. Ve bunlar bizim müttefiklerimizi nasıl etkiliyor? Ardenweald'da, Bastion'da ya da başka bir yerde. Jailer ilk ataklarını yapacak ve müttefiklerimizi korumamız gerekecek. Ve Shadowlands'daki Jailer'ın tasarımı ya da şeyi nedir ona bakacağız. Ve bir daha oynatıyorlar o sinematiği.
Look around you. What makes you believe you're not just a weapon to achieve his ends?
Enough. Join our cause or be made to serve.
Right now, you hold all the power. Make your choice.
Demek ki Sylvanas seçimini Anduin'i o bıçağı sokmaktan yana kullanmış. Yapacak bir şey yok.
Despite all our efforts, the maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius's treachery is irreparable? The Primus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
Çok yalnız kaldık diyor. Bunların hiçbiri olmamalıydı. Belki de Winter Queen bize derken Clay'a gelip kralın görüşmek istediğini söylüyor. Belki de Clay'a kurtardı burada. Bir ölümlü mü bir kral? Arkadaşlar, Uther'in yanından geçerken dikkat edin, Uther'e kalbini tutuyor, yarasını tutuyor. Ve o mordun içerisindeki o karanlık gücü hissettiği için oluyor bu. Çünkü Uther Anduin'i tanımıyor. Sadece bu yarası onun yanından geçerken şey yapıyor. Anduin doğduğunda Uther çoktan ölmüştü. Ya da doğduktan sonra, yani tanımıyor olabilir.
That prison could not hold me forever.
Why have you come to Bastion?
Bastion'a neden geldin? Sende bir anahtar var. Benim ihtiyacım olan. Sen o ruhu bırakacaksın diyor. O bana bağlı. Kendi kardeşini bağladığın gibi. Arkadaşlar ruhunu çekiyor, görüyor musunuz? Frostmourne gibi yani. Ne yaptığım diye şey yapıyordu. Bir anda tekrardan gücü eline alıyor şey. Kendi şeyini yaptı diyor. Ve o şeyi, Kiria'nın amblemini tekrar aldı. Ve sanırım o zincirlerden bazıları o Covenant'ları simgeliyor.
But as you can imagine, we're not going to take a strike like that sitting down. We're going to call in the forces of all 4 of the Shadowlands Covenants. For the first time in years, they will all come together, now reinvigorated by anima and by our actions within the Shadowlands, to take the fight directly to the jailer. Within the Maw, we will uncover brand new, never-before-seen areas. We'll also be
yeni alanlar, yeni düşmanlar, yeni ödüller ve Covenant'ları Maw'a çağıracağız.
Uncovering some brand new Maw-themed rewards while we're at it. Our return to the Maw includes not only a chance for us to push back against the dark designs of the jailer in areas that previously were very forbidding for us, where we really weren't able to spend very much time there. Having a secure, solid foothold with all 4 covenants
o 4 Covenant'ta orada yer açacakmış Maw'da. Ve Eye of the Jailer'ın bizi şey yapmasını önleyecekmiş.
And our mounts will once again even hear our call within the Maw. The Maw will
Maw'da mount'a binebilecekmişiz artık. Gerekmiyor sadece Maw'a özel mountlar.
Changing things up there, but also some never before seen sections. Let's talk for a second about the largest of those sections. So in the finale of that cinematic,
Sinematiğin sonunda karanlığa zincirler attığını gördük. Orada ne buldu? Orada bir yer var diyor. Kortia denen bir yermiş. Maw'ın yeni bölgesiymiş burası. Çok kadim bir yermiş, çok eski bir yer. Oribos'ta gördüğünüz bazı karakterler de var orada diyor. Ve Oribos'a çok benzer bir şekilde çok fazla giz var içinde.
Ancient mysteries that the jailer is truly after.
Ve jailer da bunların peşinde.
A strange group that we've only barely hinted at, known as the First Ones.
First One'larla ilgili şeyler de varmış orada. Çok heyecanlı ya. Süper.
New content, meet new allies and face off against new foes. And in addition, we will also see some brand new rewards.
Yeni ödüllerimiz de olacak diyor.
Include this Maw-themed undead horse and a Maw hand mount that is actually a giant severed hand of domination that you'll ride on the wrist section of.
El şeklinde bir mountumuz olacakmış.
There will be Maw-themed battle pets to collect as well.
Battle petlerimiz olacak.
Minion of Domination.
Minion of Domination diye.
Within the Maw is not just to collect battle pets. That's just a part of it. The true purpose of bringing all 4 of the covenants
4 tane Covenant'ı oraya götürmemizin bir nedeni var diyor Maw'a.
Taking the attack directly to the jailer's doorstep.
Jailer'ın kapısına getiriyoruz diyor şeyi.
All of his main minions is going to be our focus here.
Onun bütün
the Sanctum of Domination.
Sanctum of Domination raid'i yapacakmışız. Bütün ana Jailer'ın yanında olan karakterler bunun yanında olacakmış. 10 boss olacak. Taragru'yla da kapışacakmışız burada. İntikamınızı alabileceksiniz diyor Teragu'dan.
Those of you that were fans of the lore of the Titan Keeper Odin
yok artık.
The Jailer's inner sanctum naturally.
Odin'in gözü Jailer's Eye olarak mı kullanılıyordu orada?
For the Jailer's personal torment. And we'll be seeing some of those souls here as well. Really looking forward to hearing who you think will show up in the jailer's personal torment sanctum. Of course, any raid that features minions,
Jailer'ın özellikle
soldiers of the cold dark like this one
şey
is going to
yaptığı
have to feature our old nemesis, Kel'Thuzad.
Kel'Thuzad da var tabi.
And finally, the culmination of the raid. At long last, we will be taking the fight directly to Sylvanas Windrunner, the Banshee Queen.
Ve Sylvanas'la da
The
kapışacakmışız.
finale of this fight is going to change the future of the Shadowlands. But we're not going to spoil that for you today. However, can't wait for you to see what happens at the
Ve
end.
son olarak Sylvanas'la kapışacağız ve bütün Shadowlands'in kaderini belirleyecekmiş.
Including the unlocking of brand new, never before seen wings. These wings have a
daha fazla kanat açılacakmış. Yeni katlar olacak, yeni canavarlar olacak, yeni trapler olacak, yeni güçler olacakmış.
You'll be facing off against brand new foes with dastardly ways in order to stop your ascent, new traps to trip you up, and of course, to help us fight against all of these dastardly minions of the jailer, brand new game-changing powers will be available as well. Moving on to additional updates.
Torghast'ta yenilikler var.
Selamlar abi, yeni pakette Galakrond başa geçiyormuş. Ravenshaw'da Galakrond'muş ismi de, doğru mu? İyi yayınlar, loruna zeval gelmesin abi.
Alistair'u teşekkür ederim 9. ayın için. Broker Mega Dungeon'ı geliyor bu arada, 8 boss'luk.
The Mega Dungeon for Chains of Domination is going to be focused around the enigmatic traders that we first met in Oribos, the Brokers. The Broker Mega Dungeon is a large broker trading city with
portals, an auction house, and various different broker cartels.
Çok teşekkür ederim. Klasgrim 4. ayın için sağ olasın.
New and different kinds of brokers that we haven't seen up until now. This is an 8-boss dungeon, and in Chains of Domination will be available as mythic only for now.
Sadece mitik olacakmış. Karazhan gibi 8 dungeon'lık boss.
Brand new broker cartel members, including dastardly broker assassins and 4-armed broker guards. The second half of the dungeon, as we start to exit the broker trading city, will feature a heist section, as we chase a broker that has stolen an artifact and plans to use it for his own purposes. As we chase this broker through the heist section, he'll take us through a number of different portals that take us to a lot of different, very varied locations where we fight a number of different bosses. One of these fights, of course, is against none other than an infinite pirate dragon. I trust that needs no explanation.
Infinite Pirate Dragon mı?
The rewards of this mega dungeon include things that we will only see within broker culture. Some very special broker pets, including a broker-themed cat. We can capture some of the rats that scurry around within the broker trading city.
Toplanacak çok şey var içeride.
One of the pets that the brokers actually use as a currency. These strange worms that they found on another world and have scintillating eyes that are gem-like. It's sort of like a living sign of your wealth for the high ends of the broker cartels. You might be able to purchase one of those within the dungeon or fight an enemy in order to obtain one of them. And we'll be able to obtain the broker's special and interesting disc mount, what they fly around their trading city with. In addition, there's going to be a dazzling array of different weaponry for you to collect as well. Now let's move on to updates to some of our Covenant systems.
Evet, Covenant sistemlerine bazı update'ler geliyor.
Gain soulbinds and additional conduits.
Soulbind ve conduit'ler gelecek.
Some of the ideas that we're thinking about include adding additional conduits, different conduit types,
farklı conduit tipleri ya da conduit ya da soulbind sistemini genişletmek.
How you specialize your character within your covenant and how you gain additional power levels. We're very early on in the ideation phase here, and we'd love to hear from you. If you want to take to the forums and tell us how you would like to see.
Bir şeyler yapacağız ama henüz kararı verilmedi diyor. Bununla ilgili kararlarınızı gönderin diyor. Evet, uçma da geliyormuş arkadaşlar. 9.1'de. Rep grind olmayacak. Covenant'ınızın aktivitelerini tamamlayın, story chapter'larını tamamlayın ve uçma otomatik olarak açılacak diyor.
No, we want to do everything heavily Covenant themed because it's all about working for your covenants. So completing the flying will also unlock a new specialized flying
Aha, bir tane daha
to your covenant.
Covenant'ınıza ait uçan mountunuz olacak.
Activating anima to the eternal forge has allowed your stewards to once again produce this powerful flying centurion that hasn't been seen in ages.
Uçan bir centurion'umuz olacakmış. Night Fae'inkiler çok güzel olur.
Our powerful ally in the Wolf Serpent.
Wolf Serpent.
For the Maldraxians, the Necrolords naturally go to their natural environment, throw a saddle on one of the giant corpse flies buzzing around their backyard, and send that on to combat. There's one thing that you do know, they're not going to be afraid of the stench of death. And for the Venthyr, activating anima within Revendreth has allowed us to empower these stoneborn brutes, giving us anima infused stoneborn allies as our brand new flying mounts. But that's not all. Continuing to advance also unlock a set of cosmetic armor. Cosmetic armor sets can be worn by any armor type.
Ve kozmetik armor set de alınacakmış bu arada.
And they can be mixed and matched with any of your transmog outfits if you want to take just pieces of them, producing a variety of different unique outfit possibilities. The cosmetic armor set for the Kyrian is stylized after a Kyrian courier who might be rushing across the fields of battle with a missive. It's very lightweight, it's very airy. For the Night Fae, your cosmetic outfit will be themed around the Forest Defenders and includes many natural wildlife elements, including the horns of the Great Stag, and the leaves of the various flora around Ardenweald. As you can see, the colors here actually themed after the seasons as well. For the Necrolords, we went all the way back to the Warcraft 3 initial idea of the Necromancer in this classically inspired Necromancer set, updated with Necrolord colors. Everybody who's a Necrolord will finally get to also have a little bit of Necromancer in them.
Güzel.
And finally, for the Venthyr, no Venthyr set would truly be complete without a set of finery.
Çok güzel olur ha.
For the next Venthyr fancy party to break out. Venthyr players will be able to obtain these fancy outfits.
Oo, güzel.
To a ball.
Şu en sağdakini beğendim.
Will also herald the beginning of Shadowlands Season 2.
Sezon 2.
The addition of a brand new Domination themed affix for Mythic Plus.
Mythic Plus'lar için yeni affix geliyor. Item level increase geliyor tabii ki her zaman için. Yeni PvP sezonu.
And something special in this PvP season.
Honor Talent'a da bir refresh gelecek bu arada.
Honor Talent refresh. The idea here is to take a look at some of our unused or underutilized honor talents and freshen them up a bit, change things around in terms of the PvP metagame. We'll also be seeing the introduction of seasonal rewards. These include both brand new colors of the Gladiator and Mythic Plus achievement mounts, as well as our new Vicious mounts. In this case, the Vicious mount is the Gorm. The Gorm was already pretty vicious.
Bu da
Slapping a couple of pieces
PvP
of armor on
mountu.
that and sending them out into combat was a natural.
Yani böceğe binmeye doyamayanlar varsa.
Alright, let's take a second to recap everything coming at you in Chains of Domination.
Böceğe binmeye doyamayan varsa bunları alabilirmiş. Ama bence örümcek daha güzeldi ya, bilmiyorum siz.
That are centered most specifically around the designs and plans of the Jailer and his attacks on our allies in our covenants. We will be taking revenge by taking the fight directly to the Jailer in the Maw and forming a permanent presence there with all 4 covenants. We'll be exploring some never-before-seen sections of the Maw, including this new area known as Korthia and its various mysteries.
Evet,
we will be taking the fights directly to the Jailer himself in the Sanctum of Domination raid, which has the final boss as Sylvanas Windrunner.
Son boss Sylvanas Windrunner.
Including some never-before-seen wings, floors, creatures, and powers. We'll be introducing a new mega dungeon themed around the brokers as a
Bu tam anlamıyla bir karazan olacak arkadaşlar. 8 boss. İlk 4 boss normal, sonraki 4 boss bir heist olacak. Bir artifact çalmış olan bir broker'ın peşine düşecekmişiz son 4 boss'ta.
And alongside that, we'll be seeing some brand new Covenant rewards, including Covenant-themed flying mounts and Covenant-themed cosmetic armor sets, both of which will be available in a variety of different colors to collect. And finally, we'll be seeing the launch of Shadowlands Season 2 and everything that entails. Thanks everybody for checking out.
Ne zaman?
We've got a lot of really cool stories to tell still.
Onu anlatmadan gitmeyin.
We can't wait to get this content into your hands. From everybody on the World of Warcraft team, we hope you enjoy Chains of Domination, and we'll see you in the Shadowlands.
Tarih vermediler. Tarih vermediler.